laid back in a way, but at the same time, I keep a resting bitch face. I don't really smile, even though I'm very happy with my life. I'm not like very overly friendly or overly overt. I'm more like that chill, quiet chick in the background. People gravitate towards me, but it's just who I am. So I didn't get the whole concept of people wanting to hold your hand and kissing in public and walking with your hand in my back pocket. It's just something that irritated me. And then I realized it was because I never saw it. I never really saw it growing up. I never seen my family members and aunts and uncles be overtly affectionate or show that intimacy outside of the home. So it wasn't something that I was aware of. Unfortunately, we live in a society where we see TV and we see things like that, but we don't see it within our own lives. So we don't understand that now, even though it's there, we'll program that to respond to it. It's like, whatever, or they're trying to be funny, or they're doing too much, or they're extra. People show their intimacy in different ways. Some people show their intimacy and affection, and it's overtly affectionate, where they can just kiss and hug and fondle each other, whatever, and that's cool. Some people are more discreet, and they like their intimacy is more intellectual, because it is different types of intimacy. It doesn't always have to be physical, where you cuddling or touching. It could be an intellectual intimacy where you guys can have the best conversations, and you can talk about anything. That's also a form of intimacy. So you have to keep that in mind. People are like, oh, I was watching their body language, or I was watching this and I can see. I don't believe in that. I believe people show things the way that they do. Nobody is going to love you or love on you the way that you want. And once we understand that, it gets better because you're more open to allowing somebody to just process you and love you their way. So, as long as you're not being abused, you have to be open to other people and how they were raised and things that they saw. Sex. Sex is a physical act. Sexual intercourse is defined by a physical act of penetration that results in an orgasm. So, sex is a physical act in which you don't necessarily have to have a connection with that person. You don't have to have a level of intimacy with that person. You don't have to be in love with somebody or even have feelings with somebody to have sex. Every time I say this, I am told, oh, it shows that you were raised by a guy, by the way that you think and the things that you say. All females catch feelings if they have sex. That is not true. It has nothing to do with me being raised by a male. For the majority of my teenage years, it's just fact. Sex is that. It's a physical interaction, penetration of some sort that should result in an orgasm. It doesn't have to do anything. It has nothing to do with feelings. And that's why, I understand when people say, it's just sex. And you're like, how can you have sex with no strings attached? Because sex is a physical release. It releases endorphins. If it's done right, it makes you feel really good. You feel less stressed. You can breathe better. Gives you a good night's sleep. It's a release of pent up energy. It is what it is. It's like an exercise, a good workout routine. Sometimes people don't understand that, like, sex is a physical thing. It doesn't really have anything to do with emotions or feelings. You can see somebody and say, oh, yeah, he's cute. Or you can see somebody be like, ooh, how she get pregnant? How he got a baby? He not attractive, because sex is not physical. It's not tied to emotions. You can have sex with somebody that you don't think is attractive. It may be harder, because you don't have an attraction to them, but you can do it. You can have sex and then walk away the next day and not be like, oh my God, I wonder what he's doing. Why didn't he call me? Why didn't he? It's just your preference. Now, if you're in a relationship with somebody and that relationship develops into something where you guys have an intimate or building an intimate connection, then of course it's gonna blossom and it's gonna be more. So when you have sex, it's gonna be better. It's gonna be more intense because the intimacy is there, because you guys have a connection beyond the physical, which people call love making. Like, people be like, oh, what y'all doing? Y'all fucking? Or y'all having sex? Or y'all making love? And I used to think that question was so stupid. Like, what? Because to me, sex and love making, I mean, it's all about intimacy. If you have sex and intimacy, then I guess that could be equivalent to love making, because you will have a bond beyond the physical. But otherwise, it's just sex. It's a natural release of endorphins in the body. Makes you feel good afterwards if it's done properly. That's what it is, in my opinion. And again, guys, what I say is not the gospel. It's just how I feel about certain topics. Also, communication has a lot to do with it. I'm very open as far as when it comes to speaking about sex and sexual relationships and things of that nature, mainly because I became a peer educator, HIV educator at a young age. So I was exposed to things in conversations at a young age that just I've developed a tolerance talking about sex. However, some people are very uncomfortable, and it's adults. And like, I can see maybe a young person or a kid maybe feeling a little, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be having this conversation. But when adults run from the sex talk, as Meg Thee Stallion would say, then that can also hurt relationships. Because if we can't talk about sex, then how do you know that it's being done properly, or that you're getting the sensation or the release that you need if you can't have an honest conversation about it? And the reason why you can't have an honest conversation about it is because you're not intellectually intimate with that person. You don't connect intellectually, or you verbally can't say it because of whatever your hiccups may be. But when you can't speak about sex, that's what lacks intimacy. People's like, oh, yeah, I can have sex, but I don't talk about it. Like, I don't like when he do that, but I don't tell him. Or you tell your friends, or you tell whoever, but you don't directly have a conversation with that person or about what you like and what you don't like, things that you may want to try, things that you should never want to try. That's because you lack intimacy in that relationship. You guys don't have that intellectual intimacy. All you have is a physical bond. And people don't understand. There's people like, that's why, as bad as it sounds, sometimes it's so easy for really close friends, like opposite sex, to fall into a relationship. Mainly because they've created this intimate bond of, I tell you everything. You know, my best friend knows what I like and I don't like in the bed, but you don't, because we don't have that bond. That's a problem. If you can't have an honest conversation about sex with your partner, either you need to find a new partner, or you need to maybe explore some blockages in your past that has stopped you from talking about sex. I know sometimes in households, it's just, you don't speak about it. It's just something that happens, but you don't have a conversation about it. That's understandable. I lived in that household. I've been around those people, but you, at a certain age, you have to start and accept responsibility for your own actions, which means that if you want a more intimate connection during sex, you have to learn how to have a conversation about sex. If you don't like it and you don't tell him, he don't know, and vice versa. Some people don't like having sex every day. Some people have scheduled sex, whatever that may mean. But you got to have a conversation about it. If you don't talk about it, then they don't know. And if they don't know, you can't really hold them responsible for you not being satisfied. Because like I said, again, sex is a release, and it's like a release of tension. So if you're not satisfied with the sex that you're having, eventually you're going to find somewhere else to go to get that release, i.e. cheating, watching porn, masturbation. All of those things can happen if you're not willing to have a conversation and you're not being satisfied. So to increase your sexual experience, increase your intimacy by having conversations, by being close with your significant other in that romantic sense. So, some questions of the day that I would answer. One was, what is your after sex ritual? Mine is, I normally just go to sleep. Yeah, that's it. I just go to sleep. If it's one of those, and because afterwards I'm relaxed. I've released. I'm good. So that's normally what my after. It's not. I'm not that exciting, guys. What was another question? Let's see. How important is sex in a relationship? If we're going on a 100% scale, I think sex is a good 40%. And 40%. So it has weight on it. Especially in an adult relationship, because like I said, it's a release. It's like the best muscle relaxant. So it's 40% is what I say. I never say 50-50. I never say anything above 50% because I don't think it could kill a relationship if it's, the relationship is intimate and we can speak on things to make sex better, then I think it could stand a chance. But at least 40%. If you fall below 40%, not gonna happen. Alright. Question, what is the difference between sex and intimacy? I've already answered this at the beginning. So that's that. And now it's time for me to go, as my 30 plus minutes are coming to an end. So if you are in a romantic relationship and your sex is whack, work on your conversation, work on your intimacy levels, and understand that everybody was raised differently, was exposed to different things. So sometimes you may be in a relationship where they love PDA, they love affection, they love that physical intimacy of, affection and all that, hugs, cuddles, walking with your hand in my pocket, which for me just makes me feel like you're trying to rob me, but that's my own personal issue. And some people just are more discreet and they like more intellectual intimacy. Like they like to have a good conversation. They like to be at home with you. They want to be able to talk to you. They just want to lay and be in your space, and that's fine with them. But at the end of the day, you guys have to have a conversation and meet each other in the middle. Maybe I might hold your hand, but I won't put my hand in your pocket. Yeah, that's why I don't know why. It just irritates when people do that. Or instead of your pocket, I may just put my finger in your belt loop and pull you closer. It's just a conversation. And once you guys have the conversation, it'll also help strengthen the relationship because you'll understand each other more. You'll understand that, hey, where you don't see it as an issue. I don't like people staring at me, so I don't want to be out in public kissing you and hugging you. Not that I don't love you. It's just that it's something that's in me that I need to work on. And vice versa. So again, if you guys are not following me, on Instagram, it's The Coach Destiny. On Facebook, it's The Coach Destiny. And on Twitter, it's Coach Destiny. Also, my apparel brand is BETHA brand on Instagram. And the site is also up at BeTheBrand.com. So make sure that you go shop. I got a couple of different things coming up in that arena, as well as sparking and getting my True Destiny nonprofit off the ground for 2020. So again, Have a blessed, purposeful process.